Hey there, everybody. So I know I haven't done a video in a little bit, but I was talking to Petra about what's going on, and so let me explain this out to you. Um, so I'm doing like warehouse slash install, and we can't get anything from anywhere. We had to ship parts from Minneapolis down to here so we could get a hot job done. And this was at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage out in West Des Moines. And first I couldn't find it, and then finally found the building. And it looks like a hotel. It looks like a giant hotel. It's like a 6-story, 5-story building, maybe 7, and it's really beautiful, big building. It's fairly new. It's like maybe 25 years old, something like that. And so we get all the parts and everything, and then my coworker, he calls up. He's the main installer. He's traveling, doing stuff, but I just help him out. So he calls up and figures out what time that we can get in, and they tell us, "Oh, you can't come in till 8 o'clock because we don't allow work during the daytime." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So they say, "Oh, you can't do it this week because we have a moratorium," and it's like, why? All we're doing is putting a couple shelves in and plugging power. And they're like, well, we don't allow work between certain, we have certain weeks that we only allow work to be done, in the communications room. Like, okay. So it comes to last night. So I get there, 8 o'clock, and walk in, security guard lets us in the building, walks us down to the basement, into the room, and we're like, "So what's it like being security for a empty building?" And she's like, "Well, when everybody's here, it's really busy, but right now all we are is for insurance purposes, in case fire control." Okay, so you got like 2-3 guards every night for this giant building, just monitoring or walking, construction or whatever groups are going in. And we get in there, we do the install. It took us an hour to install this. And we didn't have to mess with anything. We didn't have to deal with jumpers or any, jumpers are like from one piece of equipment to another. We didn't have to do any of that. All we did was just get the shelf fixed up to fit inside the rack, put it in. They already had it's a AC power, so they had the power strip already there, and they had the cords for it. So all we had to do was just fish them around, plug them in, and label it. This simple job had to have parts brought in from another state because the job had been sitting for maybe a month and no parts have come in for it. Now, this is getting to back what I was talking to Petra about. It was like, well, Angry Prepper is going to premiere. I see his premiere coming up right now. Talking about, is the collapse coming? Is the trade collapse? Supply shortages. I can tell you firsthand, it's already here. Remember, I made a video that went on to Marfoogle showing the empty boxes for where you get receptacle boxes for like light switches or power plugs. They had none of it. And then the 2x4 shortage, and then the next shortage, and the next shortage, and the next shortage, and Walmart filling up shelves with plastic buckets, which I've seen that before back in 2008. When I worked at Walmart in 2008, that's the crap that we did. Okay? That was before the election. That was before the next administration came in. It's already here. We're already in the middle of a collapse. We're in the center of it. Now, all that we can do is make sure that we have food, water, and shelter. That's it. All your extra things like a new iPhone or a new tablet or a new TV or new DVD player or, new whatever, new computer, that's out the window, bud. That's it. What you have is what you have. Take care of what you got. It's time to go back to old school way of thinking of, if you can't fix it, don't buy it, because when it breaks, you're shit out of luck and you just wasted your money. All these plastic toys like Transformers and all that shit, you buy brand new for your kids and they rip the arms and legs off of them and throw them over the hill and they're gone forever. And you just wasted what, $5, $8, $20 on stuff? Done. If you can't fix it, if you can't glue it back together, if you can't take this part out and put that part into it, it's not worth shit. It's time to rethink the way how you're doing stuff. Any other things that have been coming up lately? I'd like to see Renee get back onto her schedule. I'm really missing out on that. I like just reading the news and just having somebody read and a quick discussion and go on about it. I can't really say much more than that. It's really irritating. Oh, tweets by Kevin. Some of you guys like this. Okay, so my UPS driver dropped off a package yesterday. And he's like, oh, these anti-vaxxers, they're the reason why we're having 2,000 deaths a day and da-da-da-da-da-da. And, I'm not sugarcoating anything anymore. It's all their faults, screw them. And I'm like, you know what? Dude, people die. You can't stop it. They die, they die. You can try and help them as much as you can. But, if they refuse this help and if they refuse that help, and if they don't take medications the way how they're supposed to, it just happens. It happens. People die. Now the question is, I thought of this after he left because, we only have like maybe a minute to banter back and forth, is, well, how many babies are being born every day? Do the amount of babies outweigh, or are they exceeding the deaths per day? Is it a wash? Because the moment it's not a wash, and you have negative, and you have more people dying than being born, then you have an emergency. You actually have an emergency. And you know what doesn't help in this emergency is when you have people that choose differently to let me just say Texas. Right? So if people choose to take that life, they are helping in the lotion. Get it? Thought I'd throw a little funny in there. But yeah, once you have people die exceedingly more than being born, you actually have a crisis of civilization. Do we currently today have a crisis of civilization? I don't pull numbers out of my head, and I'm not going to look it up right now, but it's pretty safe to say that there are more babies being born in the hospitals in Des Moines than people dying of COVID. Just a fact, Jack. Is that it? Yep. See you later.